It goes back to our philosophy. Everything is getting better every single day. You know, we strive for excellence. A lot of it's been, this is a rematch of the semifinals from national duels on Friday, the number 1 team versus number 4. So I'm really excited about that. We've been kind of just breaking down some individual matchups and kind of finding the holes in their offense and their defense, so that way we can maximize our attempts at beating them, or even just closing the gap a little bit. You know, Dalia has the number 1 ranked girl in the nation, the girl that just won the U.S. Senior Open, qualified for Olympic trials, and we sat and watched probably an hour's worth of film, and we think we found an opening. Now we just got to execute that game plan. It's just kind of keeping the energy high. Right after the York tournament, we kind of took a week and just kind of, it was a light practices, and just kind of, we had some time to heal and just feel good. We amped it up really hard last week, big push. This week is going to be kind of high intensity the first couple of days, taper off tomorrow and Thursday so we can hit the road and get out there.
And then looking ahead, you mentioned you have top-ranked McKendree this week in a duel on Friday. McKendree Open on Saturday. A lot of good wrestlers going to be at both of them, really. What for Friday's duel in particular, what will let you know that you're closing the gap on McKendree?
I hate to say it, wins, losses, but that's not what it is. It's scoring points, wrestling tough in those positions that we got beat in last week. And I'll go back to where Dalia's at. Emma Bruntill runs a 2-on-1 offense, and we found out she just wrist rolls to it every single time. So we've been working on that. It's just executing those game plans. I think that's where we see the growth. Saturday's the Bearcat Open is essentially the last tournament to get some head-to-heads in the seeding for the national tournament in March. So we're kind of going for that. Example, Genesis Martinez had a close match with Pauline Granados from McKendree, a 6-2, I think, loss. So we're going to close that gap. Genesis feels real good about that match. I feel real good about that match. But again, the philosophy still stays the same. We're just going to go out, wrestle our best, perform in these high-pressure situations. I've always been adamant about going out and challenging ourselves, finding the best competition. And again, I think this is our 3rd time wrestling a number 1 team in the nation, and it just shows that we're out here ready to compete and go find that.
Questions?
Yeah, what were you guys talking about before you sat down?
All right.
So,
Really fun story. So we're getting ready for the U.S. Open, and the U.S. Open was essentially the Olympic qualifying tournament this year. It is the Olympic qualifying tournament this year. And most of those girls that are competing there aren't freshmen in college, sophomores in college. They've graduated college, they've been on the senior circuit, they've made senior world teams, junior national teams. So the joke was it's big dog season. So, when we talk about like, hey, we didn't perform very well, we're a little chihuahua, but hey, it's big dog season, we're the big pit bulls. So that's the joke right now.
all right. I like that.
Okay, Sierra. Last year, this team was wide-eyed, not really sure what to expect. What have you learned from last year that's kind of helped you this season? And because I know, there's depth on this team, and you've got to fight every week to try to be in the lineup. And what are you learning each week?
I have different feels every day in practice because I'm switching up my partners, and since there's more people, there's more attitudes in the room, there's more personality, so I'm getting a different feel in wrestling, different look and mentality and everything. But I think it's a lot better this year, and I'm growing in my wrestling because I have more people in the room to wrestle. Yes.
Good job.
Going up against another number 1 team in the country, I mean, what's that experience like, and how has that improved your game?
I think it's improved my game a lot. I've never gone against Emma Bruntill. She's number 1 in the nation right now, and I've gotten feels from high school, from the girls here. I just see different levels. So compared to the top level, the number 1 nation, compared to the York tournament, it's a big difference in the hand fighting, and the 2-on-1s are just completely different. It's completely different feel of more of toughness and more maturity of their technique level. So it's a very big difference.
A couple of weeks ago, ladies, exciting news of your sport moving into the BNCA ranks. As a a women's wrestler, how was that day for you?
I think it's pretty exciting because, I mean, now we're going and, I mean, it's gonna bring more attention to the sport, so I really like that.
I was very exciting day. I feel like a lot of girls sometimes don't come to college to wrestle in college because of we're not under NCAA. So once we got under the NCAA, I feel like a lot more girls are like, oh, more opportunities are coming and opening up. So maybe that'll help to push them wrestle in college.
You know, I think the NCAA voting yes has been a huge movement. It was a historic day, not only for an NCAA as an organization, but for women's wrestling in college at the grassroots level, high school. I'm sure Sierra and Dalia remember the first time they watched the NCAA Division I tournament on ESPN, and there wasn't nothing tangible for them to say, hey, that's going to be me. You know, me growing up in high school, I still remember Travis Lee from Cornell ankle picking Chris Flieger in the 125-pound finals, and it's very vivid to me in my mind. I was a junior in high school, and I remember that. I was like, man, that could be me one day. The girls have never had that, but with the NCAA moving forward and voting yes, these girls that are in high school now can look at someone at an NCAA national championship and be like, that can be me. This is a real thing for us. So I think that vote yes is amazing. Like I said, historic day for women's sport in general. I expect to see a big growth in women's college wrestling at the NCAA level here in the next couple years. The next big step is to get to 40 NCAA teams, maintain that for a year, and then the NCAA will institute the NCAA championship for us.
All right, you're up. All right, question of the week.
Question of the week, here we
It's
go.
easy. If you can go back in time and meet one person, who would you meet?
Haven't previously met them, or
I mean, yeah,
anybody?
or somebody you've never met before.
It'll be my Uncle Chuck. He passed away when I was 8, so I always have good memories of him. Big sports fan in Texas. Looks like John Wayne, so you can kind of say I get to meet Uncle Chuck and John Wayne at the same time.
Marshawn Lynch. I really like him. He has a lot of motivational speeches, and I don't know, if you ever hear him talk, I like it.
You don't hear him talk much.
Yeah, it's
Because
kind of
he
like
does
you in
it.
interviews.
No,
So
actually, that's
actually-
why.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually,
You're the
he
most-
talks a lot. You just have to talk to him, that's amazing.
Skittles, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, God.
What Skittle flavor is your favorite? Like what color bag do you get?
The red one,
Okay.
Original.
yeah.
Good call.
I think Kobe Bryant, because that video we watched in the beginning of the year was very inspirational. I feel like it would have been nice to talk to him and actually talk about, like, you know, maybe my problems or something, and have him give me personal advice from. He's very inspirational.